we've been talking about the United States and taking out the nuclear capabilities of Iran. There are concerns. There are economic concerns as now the consideration of Iran trying to shut down the Strait of Hormuz and what that would do economically in the U.S. There are concerns about sleeper cells and domestic terrorism. There are major concerns about attacks, cyber attacks on infrastructure here in the U.S. Whenever we have questions about things like this, we go to our expert, our friend Steve Hooper, who spent over 30 years with the FBI, including the JTTF right here in Arizona. He is now a professor at Embry-Riddle School of Global Security and Intelligence. As a matter of fact, if you go to their webpage, Steve's picture is on the front of the page. That tells you how highly regarded he is. Steve, it's good to talk to you again.
Hi, Mike. Good morning.
I'm sure you watch this with a different kind of interest from a lot of people with your experience. I'd like to start with the terrorism piece of this. What happens with the JTTF across the country, the FBI and stopping terrorism? Does this go to a heightened alertness and awareness when something like this happens?
Well, JTTFs are much like SWAT teams. People say is SWAT on standby. SWAT's always on standby. That's what they do. They're always prepared. They have all their equipment with them. They're ready to go. JTTFs are much the same. They don't necessarily have to go to a heightened awareness. They already are. That's what they do. They're a task force that is focused solely on the counterterrorism or the terrorism threat. The difference would be the surge, and that's a better way to look at it. What we would do is we would monitor. So the FBI now has a robust intelligence program. And so the intelligence side of the FBI's world, the Directorate of Intelligence, constantly feeds all the programs in the FBI on what the number one, number two, number three threats are. And they rank the threats. Well, obviously, in the wake of what happened, the threat level is going to change depending on who you're targeting, or will focus you on who you should target. Well, my guess is they're surging on Iranian proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, and so forth, and the potential cells or the known cells, obviously, in the United States.
And so where might be transmissions of messages that would be kind of rhetoric, one would be now a heightened level of possible threats now that this has happened?
Yeah, so there will be so each state is different. As a Joint Terrorism Task Force, sometimes two in each state, and each FBI field office, and they're working obviously a task force. It has multiple agencies on it, and will focus on whatever the threat is in that particular office. If the threat heightens in that office on a particular cell or potential cell, based on what you're talking about, that information, that intelligence that comes in, then they'll surge efforts. They may pull agents and resources off of one particular task force squad that targets domestic terrorism and focus on and move those resources to a squad on the task force that focuses on Hamas or Hezbollah or whatever the number one threat is.
How concerned should the average U.S. citizen be? Should there be heightened awareness by the average person? And if so, what precautions should they be looking at?
Well, I think safety and security is the responsibility of all of us. I mean, the FBI has the investigative focus, but the everyday citizen should be wary of what's going on around them and not be afraid to say something or do something if they see what they think is suspicious activity. What would they be looking for? Mostly it would be some change in activity in a neighborhood if they have some suspicions about particular people that are operating, that are living in the neighborhood that have been great neighbors and great people, and all of a sudden their activities change and things like that. But the FBI will contact those in the community that they think would have access to or information about whatever potential threat might be rising in a particular community or area of a city.
The other thing that they do at the school where you teach is global security part of this. One of the big concerns has always been cyber attacks. I know that's an ongoing problem, but the concern now that direct threats or direct attacks on the infrastructure in the U.S., is there going to be a heightened awareness in this regard as well?
Well, again, it's always heightened. It's hard to say that. They'll be focused on particular things because of what happened, because of what the actions that were taken, and the Iranian proxies in the country of Iran, but they also, our intelligence community knows the capability of countries like Iran and North Korea, Russia, China, so forth. They know the capabilities of them, and so are those capabilities still there? And that's what they'll be monitoring, is their capability level. If the capability is still high, then they'll maintain that vigilant defense against cyber attacks. But, cyber is a crazy thing. It's, sometimes it depends on who figures something out first, the offensive team or the defensive team. And that goes both ways. And so cyber is a crazy thing. It's more about monitoring and seeing if you see suspicious activity, and then but a lot of you see it all the time on the news. The hacks happen, because they get around our defense. Then we develop a new technology to create a new defense. But it's more about assessing the capability level of, let's say, Iran right now, since they're in the limelight. What is their capability level cyber-wise?
Can you, if you don't mind, you invited me up to go tour the school at Embry-Riddle's campus, the Global Security and Intelligence Studies program that you have. Can you talk a little bit about the program? Because I think now more than ever, people need to know that there is a degree program right here in Arizona if somebody wants to be that next generation of protector, whether it's global security or if it's in the intelligence world. Can you talk a little bit about the school?
Yeah, thank you. It's the College of Business Security and Intelligence, and it combines corporate security, national security, and cybersecurity as part of the Global Security Intelligence Studies degree that our students get. The majority of our students want to go into a national security or corporate security world. And, of course, the cybersecurity side touches both. So if you're someone who's really interested in the cyber world and cybersecurity world, then you focus on that side of the GSIS degree or the cybersecurity degree with a tangent to national security or corporate security. And that's why we have the business program in there, because business security is such a critical piece. Our faculty is made up primarily of former corporate security directors, national security folks, FBI, CIA, NSA, and then, of course, cybersecurity professionals and academics. So it's really a robust school, and we're sending students off to corporate security positions, national security positions, and certainly lots of cybersecurity opportunities.
Yeah, you're sending students to a lot of those three-letter agencies as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I know that I know you've got a busy schedule. I appreciate you spending some time with me today. I think the audience is very, very concerned, and to hear from an expert means a lot. So I appreciate the time as always, and I look forward to seeing you when you're back in town.
Anytime, Mike.
All right, thanks.
Take care.
That is Steve Hooper, who spent over 30 years with the FBI, and now he is a professor at this school at Embry-Riddle right here in Prescott, Arizona, and it is a program that is training the next generation of global security intelligence studies. It's an incredible program.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Tap to watch and listen to the new season of Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast. You can also click the button in the middle to subscribe.